I am so bored, isolation got me so fucking bored. I know, I haven't done a video in forever on anything because I'm dummy lazy. But we're gonna go over that thing. What's going on with it, what's happened to it. As you can see, it's probably a lot more there than the last time it was on video. Unless you follow me on Facebook, and then you're probably sick of seeing it. Yeah. So as you've probably noticed from the last time that this was on video, it now has a bumper, some lights, the grille. I've had that all spare, just sitting there waiting to go. So I got the Shinos on it, I got the suspension bolted up, and that's about it. The car has essentially been pushed into the naughty corner. A lot of what's going on with it is basically just sitting to accrue dirt and mold and all that sort of stuff, because I'm going for a very specific type of build with this one, and it's not going to be very pretty, so it's going to probably upset a few people. Also, I attached the TRD wing there. So I went to the effort of attaching the accelerator pedal, but then I pulled the brake pedal box out, the steering column off, all that sort of stuff, because I had to get the brake booster out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to convert it just to a single master setup. So, as we can see, the mighty 4AG is in there. It's just a regular old big port. There's not going to be a lot going on with it. It's just got the factory loom, ECU. I'm going to have to get headers for it. The engine mounts are all in there. I'm doing a cut and shut forward facing plenum. So the plenum's off at the moment. I've got rags in there. It's just going to get a clean up. As you can see, the booster's gone. I'm just going to get a master cylinder, probably a Willwood or something of the similar effect. Maybe even reverse mount the reservoir so I can hate my life trying to fill it up from underneath the dash. But otherwise, yeah, it's very plain, very basic. So you can probably be able to tell from the front end, not very much of it is actually bolted on, so I have to make up some mounts for that. Front bar, the headlights and all that are attached, like properly attached. The engine mounts in this thing are they're done. I'm actually going like full ghetto build, because I found out that wheel nuts for this car will actually fit the engine mount slot. So I don't know if you can see that really, but there you go. So it's going full ghetto build. As I said before, I'm going for a very specific type of like look to it. So we're going to have this sort of dirty, mouldy sort of finish the whole way across the car. So I've been like applying water to it and whatnot, and just hoping that it grows a bit of culture. Also with the rust, trying to get it to rust up a bit. I'll go around the other side where the actual hidden of the rust is. As you can see, yep, that corner's had a hit. I'm not tripping over the fuel line yet. So, it's had a hit there. Most of that corner is all rusted out. It's going to very much stay like that. I managed to keep as much on the wing as I could before I attached it. But now that it's on there, I think it looks pretty good. I think it suits it pretty well. The rear wheels are going to have to be, I mean, I'm going to go 13s anyway. I'm also considering for the front, just this is really dodgy. I'm going to cut the springs in half, cut a couple of lengths out of it. I'm going to see if I can try and get it down, probably so it's only like 4 or 5 mil off the ground, the chassis that is. Try and get it nice and low on some 13s. That's the dream. So yeah, that is dumb as shit, but that is essentially this build. It is the dumbest shit build, and I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. And I bought a snow because this COVID-19 lockdown ain't got me driving anywhere, so nothing else to do. As a fat man, like probably 40 kilos fat, that's about 85 pounds for you Americans. I'm a little too big for the I mean, I fit-ish, just, but as a fat man, I need to lose some weight to fucking fit in this car. Also, it's a good way to lose 40 kilos from your driving weight. And I'm going to need it. Because 4AGs, I love them, but they're not the most torquey, fastest motor ever. They do rev like a fucking maniac though, so there's that. Now, as we can see, the steering columns are not attached. So I think that's what I might do today. I'll put the brake pedal box back in, seeing as I'm not running a booster. I'll probably have to pull it out again when I want to reinstall a master cylinder, but I don't have one here to fuck around with, just to try and dummy fit it all. So like I said, I'll probably go Willwood or something reverse mounted, and then I'll yeah, do that. But for today, I think I might just try and reinstall my steering column. So because this car, goddamn car. I know I'm talking to the car, but birds, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so because this car has a battery relocation set up basically already, I get to run that one all the way down to the back. The only other advantage of that is there's already no tray, so I mean, I'm going to clean that up, so on and so forth. But it also means I don't have to worry about it too much because it's already on this side of the car. Goes straight down that side, so straight through that hole in the firewall there, straight down to the battery, which is also just behind the passenger seat. So yeah, it'd be nice. Nice and easy job instead of like the Skyline where I had to run the cables myself. Also, I'm in two minds as to whether I pull those cam covers off, because they're GZE ones, clean them up, paint them, stick them back on, or whether I just leave them looking like that and just like make the engine look old and everything like that and then drive it really hard, or whether I have a really nice looking motor with a nice looking bay and then have the rest of the car looking like it's covered in mould and dirt and grime and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, either way. Just let us know what you think. Give us your opinion. Leave it in a comment down below. So because this 4AGE came out of an AE82, it has the factory sandwich plate, so that thing right there, and it came with a factory external oil cooler. Now I'm just tossing up whether I get rid of it and just run no sandwich plate, no oil cooler, or whether I run an oil cooler and run the line down underneath the engine mount and then run it somewhere in between there. Oh Jesus, that's bright. But yeah, run it somewhere in between the radiator and the headlight, or whether I run it external on the outside. I'm thinking probably more like in that gap there. Either that, or I think the little threaded thing to eliminate the sandwich plate altogether is reasonably cheap, so that's my other option. So this right here, that's the radiator for the car. It's actually a little too wide to fit in as it is, so I either have to chop the rad support up a little bit, or I swap it for a more factory one. But it's already got the metal thermo on it. I'll probably just run just a fan on it. I don't know what I'd run yet, but something. I'm not really big into thermos. I'm more of a clutch fan kind of guy. And I know it's not exactly car or Corolla related, but the old trailer I wheeled in, the wiring looms all cut to shit, and someone did a bird shit weld on the stub axle there. So it was rolling down the highway, and one of the wheels almost came out. So managed to make it all the way home, and we had a look at it, and yeah, I flipped it up on its side, and I've got to weld that up. So just the shit you do for car stuff. So as you can probably tell, there's a lot of suspension there to cut. What I'm going to do is, instead of just cutting it and ripping out half the spring, what I'm going to do is cut it right around to this middle one here, and then I'm going to double it over. So I'm going to leave the 2 springs in there, and it should double the spring rate. Well, that's the math behind it anyway. It'll double the spring rate, so make it a bit stiffer. And then if I cut bits out of either end, should make it nice and low. So that's the intake manifold for it. I gave it a good clean up yesterday with like some heavy duty degreaser in a little tub. Yeah, so just like your CT14, a nice big tub. Got the drill out, got the swarf, got it around the drill bit. Gave it a nice good polishy sort of clean up on the inside, and gave it a good scrub on the outside. So what's going to happen is that end chopped off there, that end chopped off, put that on that end, and then you have to make up a plate, I believe, for the back half of that. So I'm sure there's probably some non-4A, non-Corolla guys out there wondering why a 4A manifold has 8 runners on it, and it's because of this. So with the big port head, they actually run this nice big wide port. Hang on, let's see if I can grab the gasket there. So that's the actual port sizes for it. So that goes on this here, which goes onto the engine, runs nice big port sizes, so it's got 2 runners per thing. So that is for TVIS, which is a variable valve actuated runner, or butterfly valve on the motor. So it's a vacuum operated, so once you're above, I believe it's 4,500 RPM, the second runner opens, and it can run both lots of air basically. And it's just because for economy driving, especially for being low end, for taking off, all that sort of stuff, the 4As, the big ports, when they designed them, they noticed that they were very boggy down low. So if they cut half the air out, it meant they could run more efficiently under 4,500 RPM, And then for the top end, when they really want to scream their lungs out, they open these butterfly valves up just via that vacuum solenoid, and it allows it to breathe better. So I don't know whether I'm going to run this yet or not. Haven't made up my mind. The other often required thing for rear wheel drive conversions on these front wheel drive engines is the water system. So as you can see, it's still got the front wheel drive water pipes on it. Now everyone who's ever owned a 4AGE basically knows about Sam Q here in Australia, and a lot of what he does is rear wheel drive conversion water kits, like new stock, like seals, all that sort of stuff. So he's very big into the 4AG reproduction and performance parts. The other big name in the game is Barry Manon, or Bazda, from the old forums. He owns MRP, which is Manon Racing Products, and they do a lot of 4AG stuff. Actually, they've got a I think it's 600 horsepower 9A GTE in a time attack car over in New Zealand. So yeah, those are two probably big names in 4AG parts. So yeah. You know what's even worse? I did all that and I left the mic off. Hey. So what I was saying before I worked out that I left the microphone off was that caliper came with the car, and this one here was from my hub, so I touched my hub, and that's that. This one here, brake lines, it's cracked and everything. See, you can see it there. So I was going to use mine there. And I tried to take the brake line off at this bit here, but my flare nut spanner just rounded it. Both my flare nut spanners didn't grab it, so the joys of brake lines. So I'm just going to replace that whole line. Yay! So interestingly enough, I finally get the spanner to grab, and the brake line just shears off the nut. Like, fuck my life. I mean, I was just saying I was going to replace it anyway, and then I thought I had a win. Nope, sheared straight off the brake line itself. So I guess I'm replacing all of that. One positive though, I get near new brake discs for free, or as my mate would say, who I got the car off, for free. The old C-clip did happen to be on upside down though, so not that I think he had anything to do with it. I don't think he ever touched the brakes on this thing. The old caliper's out now, so I guess I'll rebuild them and keep them as spares, or sell them on, or I don't know, maybe something. Okay, I didn't really film over this side just because it's a pain in the ass, but I did manage to get that one undone. It didn't snap on me, so that's the one hose from there to there. Pulled that tie rod off. I don't have a spare one, so if you do have one and you want to give it up for free, I'm more than willing to take it off your hands. But otherwise, that's basically this side done. Well, I am going to have to get up in there and try and cut that spring. I know that's not what everyone wants to hear, but I mean, that's life. Alright, well, I think that's it for me today. I'll pack up the car and go upstairs and put this together, I guess. Might make this a daily thing. I might make it just once a week. I mean, that's kind of really up to you guys. You probably don't really want have to see my face every single day of the week, but I mean, I can do it. Got plenty of cars, plenty of projects, plenty of stuff going on, so yeah. Peace.